Welcome everybody to Dad's Going Bold on the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I am Adam AJ Ford, your host, with my co-host King.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
And our special guest today is James McMonagle, my lifelong friend for a while now. He is a musician. You can find his music on SoundCloud. He's really getting back into things after getting through the custody battle that he had with for his daughter. So James, introduce yourself. Give us a little bit of background. What's about you, about your daughter, and then I'll ask some questions as we go.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is James. My daughter's name is Avery. She's turned 2 in January. I've had full custody since last September, and there's quite the storyline behind all that. But it's been definitely a transition. I used to be one of the people that would work whatever job I could find that I could then work on my music on my part-time, and now I'm having to figure out how to restabilize so I can actually provide for more than just myself, if that's a good.
Absolutely. So Avery, she's 2. She's 2 years old already?
In January, man. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. No, it's
already going potty on the toilet, man.
Hey, there you go. That was one of the hardest things for D. Like, honestly, I'm not even playing. He was like, so what do I do? He was just looked at it like, what is it? Do I get in? Do I get in? Is that what I do? No, you just go.
Right.
So both of y'all raised daughters. I got to get some people on this show who raise sons because this ain't fair. I know Layla is what 5?
She is 5, yes.
She's 5. So I know that you guys could probably connect on a different level of raising a kid because you're raising a daughter. So it's much different, with potty training, with just different aspects of being a dad. That for me, you guys will tell me, and I won't even my mind has never even gone there because I don't have a girl. Right. In my honest opinion, girls are harder to raise, hands down.
Yeah, Layla's out.
All right, so as far as kids being a handful, James.
Yeah.
About Avery. So, I know you had a pretty tough background with what happened with your girl, but give us a little bit of a rundown of kind of how that went and how you got through it.
Yeah. Well, to lightly touch on the subject, more or less. Yeah. So the first 6 months of my daughter's life, I only got to see her 3 times. And that was some background into that, but more or less due to drama that someone brought upon themselves, doors were opened, and then I was able to start trying to get more time with her and everything like that. And along that route, it basically went from me getting a little bit of visitation to 50-50 to someone not showing up for their 50-50 to
weird
more drama, happens, that the other, and segue into me getting full custody, and then other party showing up when she feels it's convenient.
Yeah, that's I think that both King and I can attest to that part of it. The conveniency part of what I want to be a parent today.
Right. So and especially if you're doing a good job. If you're doing a good job,
that's a hard thing to do because there's to a point where you got to create a relationship with the child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if that's not being done, what's the point of you having any visitation in the first place? What's the point?
Family reunions.
Exactly, King. I know that you've gone through every step with the other parent, and you're still doing it. And have you experienced the whole conveniency thing and how it's making your life change around it? Like let's be real. That is our whole, and we have to figure out how to run around our child, basically, because that is what we do. We raise that kid. Everything we do is for that kid. So when it comes to like visitation or whatever, like there's times where we have to be flexible. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a certain way to go, like it should be stuck to. And I know you have some things to say.
Yeah. So with the whole convenience thing for me, it was about 2 years of just being completely inconsistent, basically non-existent. And now all of a sudden it's kind of throwing me in a loop because, I got to start paperwork for more parenting time and whatnot. So we're going through that process, and kind of just been an adjustment period for me and my daughter to kind of get used to that and shape our schedules around something new. But we're making it work, and I think it is a positive for Layla, just to kind of get that time as long as it stays consistent.
Absolutely, and don't get me wrong, the consistency part is where it sounds like all three of our situations are the same.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that lack of consistency, it changes. I mean, I waited around for hours. You know what I mean? It changes what I wanted to, what I had to do that day.
Yeah.
So like it's hard. It's a hard thing to juggle.
Yeah.
But enough about that. Let's speak on the hardest part, James, for you, going through this process of getting some time, then more time, and then finally, custody. Was it harder? Was it harder to not see your daughter all the time, or was it harder to try to adjust to having your daughter all the time in the blink of an eye? You know what I mean?
Well, I would say that it was harder in both scenarios in completely different ways. One
absolutely,
like constant mental drain. It's a distraction, and you're trying to figure out how you can go forward while your head's 3 steps back, trying to figure out how to pick up where you left off. And then when it came to having full custody and everything, obviously harder to get the day-to-day tasks done and so on and so forth. Figure out a lifestyle that's going to work, because it went from like no time to 50-50 for like a couple weeks. And then full custody,
I'm kind of getting used to this, to boom, just done.
Yeah. And like the transition with work too. So like it went to 50-50. I lost my job because someone not showing up when they were supposed to. So then
that's the lifestyle, that the life changes that I was speaking about there. Yeah.
Would you do yourself to stay kind of focused during all those changes, the inconsistency, and even in the beginning when you were hardly even being able to see your daughter? Because I know that took a toll on me, not being able to see my daughter for various reasons. When I wanted to, just kind of how did you get through that on your own?
I think it was not to sound off, but like a little bit of dissociation almost, like knowing that someday down the road, all the stuff that I'm going through now, I want to be somewhere where that I'm happy of how I at least walk down that path, whether or not it's where I want to be. It's kind of like that little angel on your shoulder, except it's your kid, and you're like that person's going to be looking up to me one day, so I need to.
I got you. Like, I got you. Like, what's up? I feel
right.
it.
Right.
I feel it.
Exactly.
So, King, going off of what you just said, the mental toll. Both you guys said the mental drainage. How did you deal? I hate using the word deal, and I don't like using the word cope. But how did you really come to terms and understand and manage that mental drain? Because, man, I'm telling you that it kept me up at night. There were times I didn't sleep. I didn't do nothing. Like I literally wanted to lay in bed because I just didn't know what to do.
Right.
And that it took a lot for me to be like, all right, what am I doing? Get up, do your job, basically. And what helped you guys through that mental drain?
Yeah, for me, I started just kind of getting my own hobbies and stuff like that. I started reading a lot, getting into a lot of meditation practices, and just trying to be in the present. That really helped with the mental toll everything took on me. For me, what always kept me focused was just my end goal, my vision at the end, that light at the end of the tunnel, what I wanted that to look like. So everything I did, up until then is going to affect that end goal. So, what decision do I need to make now to get there?
James, how about you?
Well, to deal with it, how I used to like vent, I've been making music since high school and everything like that. So I have a lot of unproduced and unrecorded songs that I don't even necessarily want to go public, but it sure helped me in the moment writing it out.
Oh, absolutely. Trust me, I know. Writing was one of my biggest outlets. So go on.
Yeah. So I would do that at those times you were talking about where you don't know what to do with yourself. I would open something up, or I'd read something as well. And really just defragmenting, to call it something, is kind of like you got all these things going on, and like it's hard to put together that picture unless you take the time aside for yourself, because you can keep pushing on your path and everything, but at the same time it's still stewing in the back of your head, and it doesn't get resolved until you take the time to let it resolve.
Absolutely. And I think now touching on that, like King was a huge outlet for me. Like I could come to him and vent. That is my day one. That is my brother, like hands down. I can come to him and vent. We do this because we want to create a group of where people can come and talk to us, just vent, just get it out. Find ways to do what we did. You know what I mean? And that's why I was so excited to have you on the show, because I know for me, like music and writing is one of my biggest outlets in my life in general. When anything goes wrong, I have notebooks filled with just stuff that I don't ever want to touch again. But in the moment, getting all of whatever I wanted to say out, whether it be in lyrics, in songs, in poems, a story, whatever, I've done them all. But I know you connected on that. King, I know you and I connect on a different level of one, staying busy, two, our business mind, the way we want to see ourselves grow and see our family eat. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's cool to have all three of these different dynamics, because we all three went through different situations, but that were very, very similar.
Yeah, definitely.
Very similar to, for James, not seeing a daughter to 50-50 for what, 2 weeks, whatever it was, to getting full custody from King, who has gone pretty much having full custody, but has gone through a lot of different little bouts that he had to navigate through. And that, for both of you, I applaud both of you for what y'all have gone through and the mental toll that we talked about, standing up for that and staying up for that.
So one thing I wanted to just retract back to, we were talking about the inconsistency with each other. We got a question here, looks like from the audience. Let's see, how do you address talking to your children about the absence of mom? So I kind of want to circle back to that. And
yeah, let's King, take over, take it off.
For me, I don't know, that's a tough one. I still don't really know how to properly do that. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but and there's no handbook for this. One of the things I did was just kind of comfort her, give her as much love as possible, because you can always tell when your child's down about something, even if they're not telling you. She does mention her sometimes, so I just try to hug her. I never talk bad about her mom, in front of her, and I always tell her she loves you too, and this and that. And I mean, that's as best as I've done so far. If anybody has any tips for me, I'd love them.
Bro, and I think you took a very good approach to it, though. You've taken a very good approach to it. And the thing about you never talk bad about the other parent in front of the kid or directly to you never do that, because you don't know if the relationship is going to happen now or down the road, but you don't want to spoil that for the child.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're not thinking about the other parent, you're thinking about the child, because everything comes back to, this has to do with my kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, D asks sometimes here and there about, his mom, but then I'm also engaged and we all live together. So that has been a very cool, weird change.
Yeah.
But for D, I think it was cool because he just has that presence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that he has two moms. He has two. He has two people that he can call that. You know what I mean? And right now, especially, it's getting really hard because I'm trying to explain it to him, and he's 4, so he's asking all these questions and he's trying to get the answers. Hi, Layla. He's trying to get the answers, but then I'm stuck. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, all right, how do I address this about his other parent? James, I don't know if you've had that same situation, really. I mean, I know you said there was 50-50 custody in there, and but it was short-lived. But what do you see? What have you experienced with, how do you address the topic of, the mother with your kid?
Well, I think there is the balance there. For one, you do not want to disrespect the other party and talk down on a child's parent because that's their mom,
Exactly.
And no matter what, there's always going to be that love there. And there's also that sense of identity that comes from there. Right.
Yeah.
So what I try and do is one, the comfort aspect that King was talking about. And then I try and take what's happening and depict it in such a way that, it's saying like, look, mommy's got a lot going on, right? Mommy's got a lot going on. She's trying to get better. She loves you. She does, she's always going to be your mom. For now, you know what? She's got to do what she's got to do. But then there's the aspect of it takes a village, and I never understood that to the extent that I do now.
Exactly.
Right. And like I'll be at the grocery store, and so it was interesting. She had a visit a couple months prior, and first one in a series of months.
A minute. Yeah.
Right. And she came back and started saying money, whereas before, if she ever said anything about like mom, it would have been mama. So right. And then I was seeing someone at the time who I'm still talking to, and she came back and started calling her money, and I'm like, do I discourage that? Do I encourage that? Do I just let it ride? It's kind of like awkward. So I try not to like reinforce the idea that that's money, but at the same time, she's playing that role more. I don't mean like playing, but she's stepping into those shoes. Right.
Absolutely.
Stepping into those shoes more than the mother is able to at the moment. And there's the phrase.
And that's that same thing that I kind of that I'm going through, that I'm currently trying to battle right now. And it's not even a battle. It's just about trying to pick the right way to do it. Comfort. I'm glad to see all three of us take that comfort seriously, because at the end of the day, that's what the kid needs. You know what I mean? but they need to know that we're there, obviously. But then when they start asking questions, we need to comfort them and be able to let them know, mommy's not got a lot going on. She just can't be here right now, but she loves you or whatever, whatnot. So I do want to touch on a couple of different things. We talked about a little bit about life changes. So I had some subtopics when it comes to life changes. How did you in becoming a father affect your family? Like how did your family did it affect it in such a way that it was hard for them to accept? Was it loving, caring? What did y'all go through?
So with me anyway,
you can go first. James, go for it.
Okay, so with me anyway, the mother of my child she has another daughter that's a older sibling, and so my family was still in the area at that point in time. They've recently, or not recently, but right around the time I became a parent, they were in the process of moving back down to Southern California. So it's been interesting.
Shout out Mom and Dad. I miss y'all.
Right. So there was a lot of changes going on at once, not just that. And I don't think they looked down upon it at all. Like with the older sibling, they treated her like family too when I had a relationship going there. And it's a little bit strained because, at the time, she was the first to file. And so I couldn't have moved if I wanted to, or if I wanted to be a part of my daughter's life,
Yeah.
I couldn't go anywhere. And now at this point I could, but at the same time, like, it's expensive down there.
Southern California, we both from there. So like,
right.
I looked at I'm going down there next month and was looking at stuff and I was like, I don't want to go anymore.
Right.
That's literally that's all my money. Like just to go look at it. And I can come home. Like that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not King. So I know you have a big family. You have a lot of people around you.
Yeah.
But you have a small section of people that you really have around you. You're like me.
Yeah,
we have that small circle.
I tend to stay as isolated as possible.
Absolutely, I understand that.
Issues, but I think overall it affected them in a good way, a positive way.
Yeah.
They were pretty accepting of it, with Layla. Where I saw a negative impact was, going through the whole years of stuff with the mother of my child. We ended up pregnant with another one and took care of him for, it's her older half brother. And I took care of him for about a year and a half until we found out he wasn't mine. And that kind of broke all of us, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. I met King.
Understand.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I met King. So like I that was hard on me too when you called me and we had that conversation.
Yeah.
That was hard. That little I know how much you love that little boy.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it's been great. Everybody loves Layla.
Absolutely. That's my family too. Like, everybody has been very accepting. Like, honestly, if I didn't have my mother who lives across the street from me to be able to take my son to for care during the day, I would be lost. Like, yeah, he needed to start school, but he needed to start school in the middle of the pandemic. And then when I tried to get him signed up for school, I was unable to do that because they weren't accepting new people. And then they started accepting new people and then they were full. So it's been a whole, but if I did not have my family, my fiance, my mother, my Aunt Kenna, like all of those people around me, my Uncle Jay, oh my God, my Uncle Jay, my son loves all of them. And if I didn't have them around and to be accepting and loving of my son, I would be completely lost. I'd be at Jay's house every day. My uncle Jay's house. He be at my Uncle Jay's house every day. I don't know what I would do without the people that I have around me, and that includes both of you. So I really do appreciate both of y'all's support. I know James and we just got back in communication after a little while. I saw your parents not too long ago, but having this right here, that hits here, that helps here, and it helps here. Because right here is where we always have to be to take care of these kids. All right, guys, we are going to take a short break, and then we will get back to Dad's Going Bold on the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Stay tuned. We'll be back. Welcome back. There's King. There he is. All right. So we've covered a lot so far. Want to do some, questions back and forth. Just a couple guys talking back and forth about what we go through. James, do you have any questions for myself or King or any of the people watching out there that we can answer for you?
Yeah. Mom advice, I think that's one of the things that comes with having a daughter is like if I had a son, I would know I would have more of an idea of how I want to raise him from a male perspective. Whereas I feel like no matter what I do, trying to raise a daughter, it is still from a male perspective. So therefore, what am I missing? I'm always missing something. So from anybody and everybody that has input on what I may be missing, I'd like to hear it all.
King, that's you, bro. that's all you.
Myself, but I mean, I would say just first and foremost, just be you. For me, I've kind of had to put aside that masculinity when I'm playing with her and stuff like that. I think just reading your child, and no matter if it's a girl or it's a boy, just be able to read them, and if they like tea parties, if they like Barbies, play with them.
Right.
I feel like the less thought I put into it, the better I am. But with Layla, and she likes everything. So like I said, just be yourself, and when it comes down the line, which I haven't ran into yet with the whole female body process that I know nothing about. I will have the village we always talk about to help me through that. So always just continue to build your support network as a parent.
Right.
And by the way, both of y'all, both of y'all girls aren't dating until they're married. Just letting you all know that. Right? It ain't gonna happen because I'm gonna be there. Uncle AJ is gonna be there, and they cannot date anybody until they're married. They don't get phones until they're 30.
No.
They don't even know what they don't even know what the internet is. At this point, they know nothing. No, James, I can't speak to that because I don't know how it feels to raise a daughter. I don't. But I can speak to the mindset of what we had from our mothers or what we needed from our mothers is what we need to be.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's my approach to being a father in general is what I needed, what I didn't have, because I didn't have a father. What I didn't have and what I needed from a father, that is what I'm trying to be.
Right.
Because if my father gave me one thing at all, it was how to not be a dad. You see what I'm saying? Right. I'm doing everything that he did not. I'm there. We're going to go play ball. We're going to go out and do this. We spend time together. I am going to cuddle with you. I am going to read you books at night. I am going to be the dad that I did not have. And that is where I've always kind of struggled a little bit because then you reminisce and blah, 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 blah. But James, I know your parents, and your parents are amazing.
Good people.
You have amazing parents. They are great people. So like, I guess you have to throw my answer to your question is you have to throw the masculinity out a little bit. You know what I mean? You have to think more. This is gonna sound so bad. I don't want to say it. You have to think more feminine, and I don't want to say that, but like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to think more on that level so that they can grow up and find who they want to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So King, Layla's 5. She's in school. How has that transition of her going to school and how has that been? Because I know like it's not really new for you, but like when it first started, like when you had to take her to school, you know, there's moms and dads like they take their kid to school and like, I can't leave my baby. No, I don't want her to go. Like, you know what I mean? How's that? How it's like the house was
working from home and being the full-time teacher and dad at the same time. I couldn't wait for school to start. But no, it's been a transition. I was real nervous. She took the bus for the first time like last week. So that's kind of been nervous. The bus was like a good 45 minutes late today, so I was really nervous.
Also, with the story about the bus being 45 minutes late, you make sure she puts my phone number in her cell phone or in her watch too. Because listen, I need to know when this bus driver's late. I don't play around with my niece.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the whole school, it's been great. She's coming back, and it just gives us more to connect with each other with, you know, because, you know, the whole pandemic and everything, we've kind of been getting on each other's nerves. Just like every other family in America right now.
Absolutely.
But you know, she'll come home from school and I'll be like, well, what'd you do at school today? We just have more discussions now. And, you know, she's teaching me the songs they're teaching her. And it's nice. I like it.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that she's adjusting well to it and you're adjusting well to it.
She's getting that social life back as well. You know, so that's always good for a child, you know, to connect and be social with people their age.
Absolutely. Speaking of social lives, at some point, us three will get the kids together. We'll go to a park or something, and we'll actually like film it. We'll like podcast it basically, or video or vlog it basically, and then we'll put it on the Dad's Going Bold network or the Dad's Going Solo network, and people can actually see our kids and what we do and how we do it. You know what I mean? Right. But I think getting the kids together would be a really cool idea. we have a little bit of time left, so I want to talk about a couple different things. Our Facebook page, Dad's Going Solo, it is up. Me and King will respond to whatever you want us to respond to. Any questions, resources, whatever, we can figure it out and give you what we can. So please look at the Facebook page, Dad's Going Solo. That'd be great. I wanted to do three things that each of us, three things that we didn't, that we wish we would have known going into fatherhood. And who wants to start? Because I'll start if you guys want me to.
Start with that one.
Yeah, you say you want me to start, boy. So the first thing I have is the one thing that I lacked in my life in a lot of different situations, very many different situations actually, was patience. I wish I would have had a better understanding of patience when coming into fatherhood. Being a father has taught me that, absolutely, but I wish I would have known it so I didn't get so frustrated when he was very little. You know what I mean? I wish I would have had a better sense of, okay, stay calm, be patient. You know what I mean? So that's my first one. James, what's your first one?
Organization, because before having a kid around the house and everything, I just got home, there goes my bag, there goes this, I'll pick it up later, yada this, yada that. I know where it is, I can find it. Like you got two tornadoes going around. It doesn't work like that. You got to be the eye of the storm when you got the little one running around. So organization, if I had been more preemptive about figuring that out, it would have saved me a lot of lost keys and such like that.
Fair. Yeah, I like that one. King, what you got?
I guess my first one would be, I just wish I would have known a lot more about child psychology and would have had more resources for parenting groups and whatnot. I've done a few and they helped quite a lot. So just, I feel like if I would have, but I didn't do those until like she was like 3. So I just wish I would have had more of that beforehand. And I feel like I would have been a lot better prepared.
Absolutely. And speaking of those resources, I know that to anybody out there who needs it or would like a resource, even just on being a dad and what that means. I know King has gone through a couple of different places that, to me, what he's told me about him are fantastic. So if anybody wants that information, please reach out to one of us. We will absolutely get you what you need, because I know that King was very excited to tell me about one of them that he did that we talked about last week.
Karen.
Yeah. And I think that is an awesome program. That is an awesome thing to have, especially just for men who don't know where we're going with parenthood. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome to be able to have a resource, a real thing you can go do like that.
Yeah.
All right. My second thing is the balance that you have to have with discipline between stern and understanding. Being understanding that my child is 4. He's going to destroy probably everything in my house. But being stern to know that, like, to the point of like, don't run out in the street. There's cars. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, there is that balance, that medium that you have to have of like, I'm not mad at you. I am just trying to help you. And then I understand why you're doing this. I get it. You're 4 years old. You see what I'm saying? That balance is very, very tricky sometimes, because when I was 4 years old, I was doing the same stuff. I was running around in streets. I was doing everything. So I mean, it's that balance is hard to really adapt to. And I wish I would have known a little bit better way to address what I need to be stern and what I need to be more understanding about. James, how about you? What's your next one?
I think I'd have to go with communication, and different types of communication. Because I mean, like, as an adult, I expect you to know how to speak. I expect you to know how to understand what I'm saying. And if you don't, well, that's your problem. With a child, it kind of goes along with what you're saying. But and what you were saying about child psychology as well, King. But like nonverbal communication, sign language, they're really quick to pick up on such and all that kind of thing. Because like out of all the different languages in the world, English is one of the most like diluted, all over the place, makes no sense languages out there. So finding ways to get a point across without okay, so I heard this phrase and it's like rain grows flowers, not thunder, right? So nurturing, so don't raise your volume, raise your words, except in this case not words, communication, whether it's
communication,
like
absolutely,
yeah, whether it's
I completely understand what you're saying. That was a very good. I like that. I like that phrase that you just said. That was awesome.
I like that one too. Yeah.
All right, King, we got about 3.5 minutes left.
Yeah, I'll make mine quick since we're wrapping up. My second one would probably be, wish I would have valued my time better. I look back and it's like, I don't know where the 5 years went. I just cherished the little moments a lot more than I did. I wish I would have spent more time with her rather than on, stupid little things or sleep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see that. I feel that way.
Time's a big one for me.
And I picked the last one for all three of us, so you guys really don't have to say in this one. My last one was for all three of us that we already talked about, and it was, that mental toll. I wish I would have known more about how to address that mental toll and how to use it in a positive way instead of a negative or a destructive way. I know that all three of us are very boisterous, I guess, when it comes to our attitude and our frustration. We all three of us are the leaders of the pack. And that is why I picked this group right here to talk, because we all have been there. We all have been to that point of the mental toll. I'm going to do whatever I want at this point. And that can be destructive at times. So I wish I would have known a little bit more about the mental toll that was going to take on myself, the mental toll it would take on my family, the mental toll that it probably takes, going back to child psychology, on the child, watching you go through it. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that I wish I would have learned a little bit more about before I entered fatherhood. But I want to do a couple shout outs. I want to do a huge shout out to Cece, our amazing person, our amazing producer, just all around amazing person. Cece, we love you. Shout out to Christopher as well. Christopher, thank you for allowing us to do the show and be on it. The WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I thank you for allowing us to have this platform to speak and to talk about being fathers and just men's issues and our concerns and so on and so forth. Another thing that I want to talk about is, you probably see up in the corner, there's a Going Bold, a joint venture. Me and King and Cece and Christopher, we're all working very hard to create something new that is just close to like going solo, but it's going to be going bold. And I'm excited to go bold with the crew that I have. James, I look forward to having you on. Thank you so much for coming on and speaking to us, man. I am so proud of your growth and what you have done to get to being the father that you are. And I look forward to seeing your continual growth. Same with you, King. You already know that. That is why you are my co-host. I truly believe in both of you as individuals, as fathers, as people, as good people. And I look forward to seeing the growth from all of us. With that being said, I would like to thank everybody who listened and tuned in. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we will be speaking on some topics that might have dads running around in circles. You never know. But thank you all. Thank you, James. Thank you, King.
Thank you.